What if I told you that just before this long descent into the absolute abyss that I'm currently swimming down into, there was a party? Yep, just a party. Party of dancing and gathering and merrymaking of various different walks of life. There was something a little bit off about this party, though. It was just as much underwater as I am currently going down into this abyss. I turned off all the music on purpose just so you can kind of get a feel for how eerie this party is. It's not really a normal party at all. Yeah, all of the things that are normally at parties are here. There's food and dancing and just kind of hanging out and drinks and a Dance Revolution pad. But, you know, it doesn't feel right. There's something just kind of off. There's something eerie and just not right about this. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the detail. I think at one point there was even some tentacles and like eyeballs and stuff kind of popping up around the place, and I don't know if that was intentionally taken out or if that was accidentally put in to begin with, but it was a little weird. Now, I know this is a video about objects that are for nobody, that were put here by the devs just for the sake of putting them there and, building the world up a little bit. And this kind of is, I suppose, this whole entire endeavor is, but there is a little bit of a quest to obtain one of the otter mounts in the game, and I haven't done it yet, but I don't even know if I can still do it. I don't know if it was a temporary thing or not, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little area, and I enjoyed it very, very much. One of the big things that I'm going to be talking about during this video is food, and how food plays a huge role in just setting the scene, setting the mood, setting just anywhere in this entire game. There's usually some kind of food or beverage or something like that that can tell a whole entire story. Another thing that we'll be talking about is pirates, of course, because I honestly needed to put pirates in here somewhere. I love them. I love pirates, and especially in World of Warcraft, I think they're great. Another thing that I should just be clear about is that I know that some of these things probably do have quests and things that you can discover and stuff through the quests and story and whatnot, but I'm going to try to mainly stick with things that are simply here for the sake of being here. There's not any major quest lines or story beats or, just randomness. And maybe it's not entirely random. Maybe it is there for a reason. There's just little context for it and so forth. Take this little area outside of Valdrakken, for example. This is a fully fleshed out building with several different pots and pans and bowls of steaming food just kind of laying about, and there's no one here. This building doesn't have to be here. This building could disappear entirely and it would make no difference whatsoever on the impact of the game. People live here, or at least people gather here to eat, and they were here recently. The food is still hot. I especially love the little details of the statues and the figurines and stuff on the shelf, and the painting of Valdrakken up there in the corner. I think that's pretty cool. But again, where's everybody at? Who is this for? Why are we gathering here? Why did they leave? It just brings up so many questions. And no hard-hitting questions, of course. This is all in good fun, but it just makes me think. These people were probably sitting here having some lunch or discussing a book that they all read or something, like a book club, but they just up and left. They just had to leave for whatever reason. All of them? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, but I love it. I love every second of it. I think that it adds a little bit of a mysticism about just the way that the dev team works and the way that they build up the world, and again, this is just one of many examples we'll talk about today. Also in Valdrakken, if you go over to the crafting area where the different artists and vendors and stuff like that are at, if you go over to the fishing guys again, I'm going to bring Tuskar's up again, but this little dude's got a tackle box with little worms and hooks and stuff in it. I love it. And he's also wearing a backpack, I think, that has like fish or something in it. And again, just really cool attention to detail. They didn't have to put that tackle box there. We already know he's a fishing vendor. He's fishing. It just, again, just one of those things that they added for the sake of adding it, and the game is much better for it. Surely you have all heard of the Iron Tide Raiders and the Night Squall. Well, what if I told you that they were shipping bananas? Why were they shipping bananas? I don't know. The Night Squall, if you're not familiar, is a pirate captain that has allegedly sailed across Azeroth and gone even past some of the places that we are not able to get to today. He's gone to the other side of the world, a place that has been completely shrouded in mystery since the beginning of this game. We don't know what's there. We still don't know what's there, even after the Night Squall made it back and is apparently recruiting an entire pirate fleet to go to the other side of Azeroth again. But why was he shipping bananas? Maybe food, I guess, but these are specifically bananas. There are bananas everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of hosen in this band of Irontide raiders, but still, it's just weird. There's gold and there's bananas. It's kind of cool. And also in this particular section right here, I noticed that there's a little dinghy that's kind of like busted up on the side of the shore, and right outside of it is a massive barrel of bananas that could probably have hardly even fit into this little boat. But it just makes me think that two idiots were given the task of taking some of these bananas ashore, and they managed to hit land way too hard and wrecking their ship. At least that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like it was docked very well. But those guys are not here. They probably went off to have a smoke or something like that. Who knows? There's no quests here. There's no quests here as far as I can tell. There's no specific story leads or anything like that, except for obviously the book that you get from the Night Squall ship, and that's pretty cool. But I didn't notice any quests. There's no major story beats here, and I don't know. It's just kind of a little cool attention to detail. I found this the other day when I was going to the Night Squall ship to finally pick up his book after hearing everybody talk about it for months and months now. I just wanted to go have it for myself, and I noticed this little island right outside of the ship, and it's just got bananas in it, and I love it. I love all of it. Now, there's also just something to be said about shipwrecks in World of Warcraft in general. If you go to any of the shipwrecks in the game, I guarantee you're going to find something there that was just put there simply for the detail alone. Nothing that you can loot or no items that you can gather for any specific quest. And yeah, some of them are, but some of the ones that are off the beaten path a little bit will still even have various different items and things that just kind of tell the story about how the ship was wrecked or why the ship is at the bottom of the sea. And there's also some that don't. And those are the more interesting ones, because then you can formulate your own opinions. You can build your own stories and think about, wow, how did this ship even get here? Why is this specific ship at the bottom of the ocean? I don't know. But it's fun to think about nonetheless. Also, just another quick shout out to this little Tuskar fishing setup here. I love the little glowfish hanging from the ropes. I think that's lovely. But again, no Tuskar. There's no NPCs here. There's no quests. It just shows that there was a Tuskar here fishing, just chilling, and he was called away by something, or maybe he had to go take a leak. I don't know. Another thing, the portal rooms in Stormwind and Orgrimmar, all of the portals have just amazing detail, and I love that the Dragonflight one has some of the same assets, like the statues and crates and stuff like that, from some of the the buildings that don't have anybody in them, and it just kind of makes everything more cohesive, and it brings everything together full circle, and I love it. I didn't get a very good video of the specific items and whatnot, but I did have this B-roll that I shot of just the portal itself, which is also cool because I noticed that something that I'm going to use to transition into my next point is NPCs. Periodically, an NPC will run in and out of these portals. Who is that for? I don't know. But even the more busy portals, you'll see NPCs just kind of leaving and going and coming back into them, and why is that there? Why are those NPCs there? There's plenty of actual players going through these portals and coming out of these portals and so forth. So why add the NPCs in there, other than to just make this a more living and breathing world? And most of the time, these NPCs aren't wearing legendary gear or big weapons or anything like that. A lot of them look like normal citizens, just people that have probably come back to Orgrimmar to grab supplies to take back to Valdrakken, or vice versa, and so forth. And I love that. I think that's a really cool attention to detail. Speaking of going through portals, let's go to one of the greatest expansions of all time, Shadowlands. No, I'm only joking, but have you ever just wanted to have a romantic candlelit dinner in the afterlife? Just, sitting on the balcony of Oribos and drinking wine and champagne and eating and looking out at the vast nothingness that is the really crazy skybox of Orbos? Well, you can, because these things are everywhere. The amount of food that is in Orbos is kind of awkward, honestly, but I guess it kind of gives more of a like Valhalla celebration kind of thing, especially in this room right here where there is like cake and people hanging out and eating and drinking and all that kind of stuff. I think that's pretty cool, and I loved this room in particular. It just kind of has a lot going on, and for all of Shadowlands' downfalls, they've got some really cool just ambience, and a lot of the color schemes that they used in these, especially in like Bastion, I love the off-white and bluish aesthetic. I think that's really cool. It's very peaceful, it's very calming. Same with Ardenweld, I think it was also a really well done zone. I think that the art team always kind of blows it out of the water, but maybe that's just me. I thought Shadowlands, at least, at the very least, looked really, really cool. While on the topic of NPCs, these two elves that are standing here on the edge of Oribos, just looking out at the vast expanse of nothing and death and swirling chaos and whatnot, that's just it. They're standing there. They're just looking into the void. They have some dialogue boxes, but as far as I can tell, there's no quests linked to them. One is a paladin and one is a death knight, and it's just kind of eerie. What are they thinking about? I don't know, because even when you click on their text boxes, they basically just tell you to piss off, or I guess a lot more kindly, they just have a quote-unquote look on their face that makes it feel like they don't want you to be there, they don't want you to bother them. What does that mean? Why are these NPCs here? Why are they looking at this specific point of the Shadowlands? I don't know. I don't get it, and I love it. That's another thing that just goes along with some of the objects that are here for no reason whatsoever. If you take some time to just go through and check out some of the NPCs that are standing there seemingly doing nothing, or NPCs that seem like they're out of place, go check and see if they've got any dialogue. Sometimes they've got some dialogue boxes, sometimes they don't, and honestly, whether they do or not, it's interesting that they're here. Same with, again, the portal guys that are just kind of running in and out of the portals. I do want to thank the user Claroxy7552. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but they basically pointed out to me that I did a kind of a poor job of giving any specific examples or ideas and whatnot of what I was referring to in my other video. That's why I made this part 2. So thanks, I appreciate that. I really do. And that's not sarcastic. I mean that. I don't know what I was thinking. I know that probably deep down I was thinking maybe I should probably put some examples, and then I just forgot to or something. It's been kind of a busy couple of weeks, so my brain is kind of fried. But one way or another, I went ahead and made this video so I could add some more specific examples, and trust me, there are plenty more out there. These are just a few of the ones that I found recently, and some that I liked quite a bit that I felt deserved a little bit of a shout out. But by all means, this is not even close to all of them. I mean, they're everywhere. There's things for days all over the place, everywhere, just waiting for you to go find them. And I encourage everybody, again, just go look. And honestly, I know the WoW music is beautiful and it's to die for, but sometimes if you turn the music all the way down and turn the ambience up so you can just kind of hear the sound effects of the environment and the footsteps, and every now and then some weird shit you'll hear, and especially in the Abyss clip at the beginning of this video, you can just kind of hear just, I don't know, just whale song and just creepy muffled sound effects and water bubbling around you. Some of that is just really cool to think about and really cool to just kind of take in without the music sometimes. So that's just another thing I would recommend. And of course, don't always keep the music off, because the music is just phenomenal, and the music team in World of Warcraft is absolutely beautiful. They do a great job at creating some of the best tracks for any video games, in my opinion. I've got them on several playlists, and they just, I don't know, they make me feel really good and nostalgic and sometimes creeped out and spine chilling, and I don't know, it's good stuff. Definitely check out the music, but I don't know, while you're exploring, just turn the music off for a little bit and take in the surrounding ambience and the sound design that the team has put together for you to hear in all of its glory. And yeah, hopefully you guys find some really cool stuff. And again, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if there's any really cool stuff that you have found that maybe not a whole lot of people know about, or stuff that doesn't have any, articles on the internet about. And yeah, let me know. I love it. And as always, if you like this video, make sure you give me a giant thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this or anything else that I've got on my channel. I've got a bunch of stuff on here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.